I don't know what's more frustrating, knowing that it can kick in a corner and really kick your ass, or that it's slowing you down exit corners. Good morning, comrades, welcome back to the channel, welcome into the Toyota Supra. And as you can see, we have an additional screen, namely the dashboard, and it's of course handy to see how fast I'm going through on the track, through certain corners, etc. But in this case, we're going to use it for scientific purpose, namely we are going to switch off traction control. It shows VSC deactivated, variable stability control probably, and the traction control button here. So we're gonna drive it and keep an eye out on the dashboard. Now, a quick story of the Toyota Supra. In 2019, like pretty much every YouTuber in the world, I pre-ordered it, was very hyped about it. 1 month before the car came, I'm like, I actually don't really need the car. I asked Robert, do you want it? And he said, yeah, it's a hyped car, it's a cool car. I'll take it. We put it in the Apex rental fleet. Car arrives, we start driving with it, and it's dangerous. It's bad. We go to Manthey-Racing, we do alignment on it, and we see that the toe, I think toe in or toe out of the rear wheels is like 2 degrees off of one wheel, completely offset. We publish a video about it. Within a day, like 10 or 20 Supra owners all over the world start messaging us saying like, hey, we also have the same issue. So there was like a manufacturing issue, like, oh my God. Okay, we fix the alignment, we take it out on the track. Car suffers from crazy bump steer. What is bump steer? Is basically when car starts steering by itself when the suspension is being used, or when it's shock absorbers absorb shocks on the road. This means you go through the bump, and Nürburgring is a very bumpy track, the car just goes left or right. Not very fun. Luckily our friends from Werkline solved the issue by providing a kit, which works now. Now we have another issue, that apparently, since we can now drive car fast comfortably, which we couldn't do before with the bump steer, we drive it at certain speeds without traction control, but traction control kicks in by itself. And you might be thinking, what's the issue? Traction control should save you from crashing, right? Well, yes, traditionally speaking, well, it is the case if you are driving just on the roads and easy. But if you're driving fast, you want to drive without traction control, because traction control works by slowing the car down, by braking it, to avoiding it oversteering, and it cannot slow you down when you're already oversteering, when you're losing traction. It needs to happen before that. And those inputs, when the car thinks that it's happening before that, it's actually completely okay on the track. So it's actually braking the car down, it's slowing you down, whereas it's not supposed to do, because you're perfectly safe. But the second biggest issue, it's not only causing slower lap times, let's not talk about lap times, it is very dangerous, because suppose you are very dialed in with the car, with the track. You know exactly what is going to happen. You floor it over 200 kilometers per hour in Kesselchen left, number 4. And then you know completely exactly the line from the right side of the track to the left curbstone that you're gonna end up on the right curbstone. You're just like completely on it. And then the traction control kicks in. But what it does, it brakes you on the right. Basically, it can jerk your steering wheel and you're gonna go off the track. And that's quite not cool. And as you can see, actually, I think traction control already turned off by itself while we were already driving, let alone being on the track, which is quite annoying. So what I'm gonna do now is, just to make sure, I'm gonna stop here, restart the car. So let's do that. So we're putting it again in traction, keep it pressed, and now it seems to be off. Now the issue that we have is, once the traction control switches back on again, you cannot reset it on the track, which is just, and there you go. It switched back off again. So now while I'm driving, I'll keep it pressed and it will probably not do anything. And there we go. Well, now it goes off, but not when you're driving sporty. So this is quite annoying. So in any case, which gear are we? Because you cannot see it because of the GoPro. So just pay attention on the dashboard. You will see that even on the straights, on the bumpy straights, it will be kicking in and slowing the car down, whereas it's absolutely not necessary, which is quite upsetting. You can see it here already. Fabi forgot some cash here. By the way, shout out to Fabi for giving me this car. He, by the way, bought it completely now from us. I think, where he was talking about it. I hope I didn't give away too much. But yeah, it's a dream to drive now, as of recently, thanks to all those solutions. But quite scary knowing that in the corners it might just kick in and upset you. We're full on the gas and the car is just like, nope, we are kicking in traction control, we're not letting you accelerate fully out. Once we went over crest, really unpleasant. There is George with the Polestar. This was a bit too much for DF driving, but sometimes you just get away with your head. So now we'll compensate with easier overtaking of this Z4. Following the speed limit, yeah, so I'm not doing exactly 50, but it's not the point. The point is that you're not going too fast, that you end up crashing into an emergency vehicle that's using this second exit. And off we go again. Give me power! Hello, Martin. frustrating knowing that it can kick in a corner and really kick your ass, or that it's slowing you down exit corners. Whoa! That was the prime example, because you were steering. This car. Okay, we're gonna take it easy, really. I was steering in, and the in kicked in, and what happens when you steering in a corner and go on the brakes? Exactly. You understeer, you go straight. This, honestly. Toyota, sort your shit out, seriously. Don't give the bullshit of like, oh yeah, BMW only developed the engine, and we did the chassis. Well, this is bad, honestly. See, if I keep it pressed now, it will not deactivate, or yeah, deactivate again. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. That was my scariest moment, like, definitely of the year and probably ever. Fuck that. Some people, if you're gonna say like, oh, it says that there is a chassis issue, the only chassis issue of this car is because the car comes usually with the adaptive dampers, and the dampers have been replaced. But name me one car where traction control is linked to you replacing the dampers. This is freaking annoying. Lap with the Supra, but I think it was also the last lap of the Supra that I will ever do, unless that issue will be fixed. I'm more interested to know of the fellow Supra owners if we have just the unluckiest car in the world, or if you have the same issue. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely haven't, because that was just too much. But other than that, it's a great car, as long as you can switch off traction control. But we cannot. Yeah, as said, never again. Luckily, GoPro seemed to have recorded. And now George is back here as well with the Polestar. First of all, how did you like it?
Yeah, it was right. It was fun.
Okay.
Sergio's first lap out. So
oh, that's cool. That's cool. You just told me that apparently more people have the issue, because I asked on the lap or at the end of the lap. I hope some Toyota owners will tell us maybe you have the issue. Now it seems that people with stock cars have the same issue.
So I only looked at the comments from the YouTube video that I done yesterday, the day before yesterday, whenever it was, and there was a couple of people saying, look on the forums. So I checked the fault codes and just wanted to run through a few things, and there was 2 fault codes that stood out. And I searched them online, and it took me to a Supra forum, and there was 3 or 4 people all having exactly the same problem with a completely stock car. Yeah. No suspension, nothing changed, it's completely stock. So I'm going to look into it a little bit more, but it's clearly not something we've done with suspension or any changes.
Really, so far I've been trying to make car better.
Well, I drove this stock, and Robert drove it stock and had the same problem.
Exactly, yeah.
So we know that it's not anything we've touched, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I don't want to, oh, you can do this to get round it. I don't want to temporary bodge to fix it. I want a fix
take off the
like
the fuse of the ABS.
It's fucking dangerous.
It is. I mean,
it's pure.
I haven't watched the footage back, but I saw the barrier coming very close to me. It was kind of unpleasant. So I'm good. So Toyota, get your shit together, because nobody else can apparently.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah.
There needs to be some, even if they add some kind of update where you turn traction control off, it goes into a track mode or something.
Exactly.
And it bypasses your tyre pressure monitoring, because why would you run stock tyre pressures on a track anyway? You adjust them. So.
But I was having the same issue with like no pressure warning, because I was running higher pressures. But it seems to be a Toyota issue, because Yaris is still also kind of kicking in a bit. It's a lot less, but I don't know. And some people say like you need to switch it off completely when you're standing still because that's what manual is saying.
For this,
maybe
doesn't matter. Either
for
way.
this, it doesn't matter because I was standing still. Anyway, I think we're done talking about it. You've seen it.
But the rear suspension, everything, the bump steer seems to
It's
be
great.
95% better.
The car is a dream to drive. It's just playing a fucking Russian roulette. It's a Russian roulette now.
Yeah, it is legit. If you perfect the bump and the high and low speed,
Yeah.
and then a fresh set of AR1s with the traction control off, this will be a really, really good car for the track.
Yeah, it is. So, as mentioned, Toyota, it's a minor technical, electronical issue that you can solve to make your car great. And the bump steer, well, there are already aftermarket solutions for it. But electronic, I don't know, maybe some tuners. Anyway, enough talking. I'm done with this. I'm going to have a nap. I think I deserve one.